It doesn't really look that big, right up until you see the size of like a horse or something, and then it looks massive again. And this is the optimal lighting plan. Hello everyone, my name is K3GamerK3. I hope you're having a great day, and welcome to another episode of my Minecraft Castle Build series. And this one is not going to be long and ranty, because I already recorded it once, and it was horrible. So I finished doing all the floors filled in. All the floors filled in. Here it is from the desert. Here it is from the snowy biome. Here's a corner view. And here's a higher up view. It doesn't really look that big, right up until you see the size of like a horse or something, and then it looks massive again. Alright, I'm going to take you up to the top and show you what we're going to do for the lighting. Alright, this is what the lighting is going to look like. I'll probably remove that little center bit, but this is the perfect center for the whole thing. And this is the optimal lighting plan. It's not mine. If you search it, it's like the first thing that comes up. Each torch is over 1 and out 13. Or in the case of this direction, yes, if we're facing that way, it's like down 1 and over 13, but they're all like that from each other. If we look at the light levels, the smallest one that we get is 8, and that's going to be like right in the center of all these diagonals. I had to do some imaginative stuff around the edge here, and it's not the most optimal anymore, but I try to get it to line up with the lines of torches as well as I could, so that it doesn't break the pattern too much, because I really enjoy looking straight down a diagonal and it just lining up perfectly. I went through a lot of different ideas that didn't work. Radials got too spaced out at the end, and if they weren't, they're too scrunched up in the middle. Perfect grids don't work because this is a 100 by 100 space with a 2-block center, and torches only have a 1-block center. So you can't do anything with diamond patterns that are centered. You can't do anything with perfect grids unless, well, you can have it like square grids, but it takes up a lot of glowstone, and it doesn't work out very well, and I tried, and it took me a long time of trying, and it just didn't work. You could do something like that and have it meet either on the outside edges funky or on the inside edges funky. Actually, it'd have to be the insides to get it to work with this. But the inside edges being funky don't really work because it creates a weird zigzag that when you're trying to look down the torch lines, it just looks horrible. Because it'll like come in one way and zig for another section and zig back for another section. It's not very fun. But I do want to show you guys what I used to help me plan out all these different things that I had tried out, and I'll show you that right here. Alright, so this is what I made to do the lighting plotter. Basically all these are light levels of 0. Anything 0 through 7 will show up black. If I want to add in a lighting source, ta-da! It gets from a hotter color at least to a cooler color. This goes out, and anything 7 through 0 is black. You can do 15s, and it'll be an even darker red. You can make it even bigger. You just have to add in your own colors. To undo something, you can either hit Control-Z. It'll rethink everything back to 0. Or you can drag over, and it will replace the equation that... So everything has the same equation. It'll just replace it back from when you replaced it with a number. And that's pretty much it. There's only one funky thing with that, and it's that these edges have a slightly different code to them. So if you do need to drag over an edge, you have to do it from an edge. You can't go below and go all the way up to the top. It won't work because there's no block on the top of these. You just have to drag it sideways to erase. And the corner you don't want to mess with because it's the only one with its equation. It's only got the 2 blocks next to it. if you're going to mess with it, be able to undo it or save the equation somewhere else or do anything like that. So let's put a couple of lighting sources in here. I will be using glowstone, but they're sunk into the floor, so they go from a 15 source to a 14, being one block up. You want to look at the air blocks right above the floor. So there's 2, and if we go to sheet 3 here, it counts 2 glowstone. Now what I was doing to plot these is only doing a quadrant and saying, well, I'll just replicate the quadrant in all the areas. So do I need to multiply it by 4? You can hit yes or no, and it'll give you your total glowstone. Well, let's say we don't need to. Well, then it's just the 2 that we have on there. And I just have this set to count the number of 14s on there. If you're using glowstone sitting on the surface, you can change that to 15 or something like that. It's really easy to do. Just literally change that number to whatever your light source number is. If you're on modded and you have like a 20 or something, you can do that too, but there's no colors associated with any of those higher numbers. It just shows up as white because it's not 0 through 7 and there's no color for it. If you want to add colors or change any of my colors, conditional formatting, manage the rules. These are all the ones I have, where 0 through 7 is black with white text, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. You can add more rules for higher color numbers. You can change these ones. You just have to make sure it goes for like the entire page. If you wanted to edit one of these, I just have it format only cells that contain is equal to 8. So anything that's an 8 gets this color. You can do a lot more customization. I just have it as white text, and that's because the purple's kind of dark and the fill's purple. If we wanted to make it pink, we can make it pink. Okay, apply, and now the 8s are pink. And we can also undo that. You can make it a grayscale if you wanted to make it a grayscale. It's just hard to tell one number from the next, where this one's a very clear division between each number, especially if I'm zooming out and trying to replicate this entire giant pattern. Real quick, I want to tell you what the equation means, so if anything happens, you know what to do, because this will be available for download. Each square looks at the 4 adjacent squares around it, takes its max number, and only does something if their number is greater than 1. If there is no number greater than 1 around the outside, this square gets a 0, and that's how we make sure we don't get any negative numbers. If there is a number greater than 0, it takes the highest out of all of those 4, and it just subtracts 1. And that's why if we put 2 lighting sources very close to each other, that's why we get like the higher lighting, and it doesn't prefer the lower ones when there's a nice bright source like right next to them. It pretty much works perfectly. Other than you have to be careful with the side edges of equations. You could probably change that and make if rules, like if it's in this row, only look at 3 blocks. Same with this one, if it's in this row, only look at those 3 blocks. And you'll have to have one for the corner as well. If it's the corner like this and that row, only look at the 2. But really, as long as you're a little bit careful, you don't have to think about it too much. There's a couple ways to break this. You don't want to put anything ridiculously high in there, like over 100. It just won't work out well for you. It only does 100 iterations, and that's how you get this to work. It's circular logic, but you just have it set to do iterations. And again, it's got to think through all the 100 iterations, and that's why there's all these hashtags. Although it seems to have worked on the outside edges, just not for some of them for some reason. And there's a way to fix that. What I had to do to get this to work at all, so that it wasn't circular logic, is go into formulas, under Excel options, and give it 100 iterations. If I told it 200, I'm sure this would all of a sudden start working, and it wouldn't be the little error hashtags anymore. Nope, it's still errored. Okay. Let's see what I can undo here. And again, it's thinking through 100 iterations, and it's back to normal. If you mess with the amount of iterations, it should be able to handle higher and higher numbers. I'm not really sure. You'll just have to play around with it and increase this number for higher values. I'm not sure what kind of scale that's on, or like if it needs to be double or 4 times or whatever the highest number you need to enter. I like to keep it at 100 because really that's overpowered for what you need for like 14s even. The other way to break this, see, this is the very top row. Actually, before I break this, I want to show you something. So the way that the perfect optimal lighting plan works is that if we have this guy here, so the way that the perfect optimal lighting plan works is it sets up blocks like this, and then in here is where you'll get the side point from the next one, right there. And then same with this one, that'd be right here. And that's how it creates its pattern, and that's the further spacing you can have without having any 7s. It's like a double row of 8s between all of them. It all comes together nice and perfectly, and it just keeps being quite slightly shifted over. You can keep adding on to this if you wanted to. And then this one is the one that we need. And you just kind of create the pattern like that. It's not too hard. Okay. So how to break this? If, like I said, the top edge has its own pattern. If you need to erase this, you have to drag sideways from the top, because the top formula is different. It only looks at 3 sides. But each is the same set of 3. You just let it do that. If you try to make it look at the block above it, which does not exist, that is when you turn everything into errors. And even if you do safe calculations, the errors will keep spreading. And if I undo, it doesn't get rid of the errors, they keep spreading. It will break this. So you do have to be careful of that. Like I said, it wouldn't be too hard to fix the equations up here. It's just not something I want to get into. It's pretty easy to avoid breaking the system. You just gotta be careful how you're erasing. Can I fix this at all? Let's see. Can I drag this from there? Oh yeah. Okay. So I can fix it if I really try. Yeah, you just can't. These have to have their own equation. I can select the whole thing that includes the top one and drag it over, and it keeps the top one being separate from the lower equation. There's no way to fix the corner because it's the only one like it. There's nowhere to drag it from. You'd have to rewrite it in there. Oh wait, that's not the top corner. This top corner, because it's only the 2 in there instead of 3. But again, you could go through, rewrite it. It's not too bad. You just have to be really careful with the corners. You can fix just about anything else by dragging from somewhere that is safe, if that makes sense. Alright, so this is available for download. Hope it helps you. If you need the exact center point, because this is 100 by 100, you want a X, and then go down to 50, and that's the top left of the center point. Is that 50? It is AX 50. That's the exact center. You can drag the edges in closer or out further from this. I just have it at 100 by 100. Yeah, let's go back to Minecraft. So we're back at Minecraft and it's night, and you can really sort of kind of see how these diagonals are lining up in real time in the game. And again, I'm using torches because they're a light source of 14. see, it'll only do the BL if I'm standing on it. Yeah, 14. Glowstone's 15, but it's going to be embedded in the floor, so that's 1 block away. So the blocks that we need for the surface, it actually will be 14. So it all kind of works out with this as a good analogy, and it marks where I need to put all the glowstone in. I'm going to do that for each floor. I was thinking about having it like turn the other way, like have this one go like that way instead of like this way. But I think that would just get disoriented. You know, going floor to floor, you get disoriented. I'm just going to keep it consistent. I think like up 13 and to the right 1 is just fine. And it'll be a lot easier to line up the holes and fill them in with glowstone evenly without messing up the pattern at all. But I think it's going to look pretty cool. It's going to leave a bit of dark area, but it's not going to let any spawns happen. And although we're in peaceful right now, I do want to switch it over to survival. And honestly, that would make this whole thing a lot easier if I did survival from the beginning. I could have had an XP farm going, I could have enchanted tools going, instead of mining out this entire thing with like stone pickaxes. The new auto jump feature actually killed me in the nether when I was trying to get even more glowstone, when I thought I was going to do a more complicated pattern that I ended up not liking. So I was getting more glowstone, and I'm glad I did, because I can use a little extra in some places now. I lost my best pick swimming in a lake of lava because the auto jump knocked me off, and I had to get a new Silk Touch pickaxe, and I didn't have any Silk Touch books, so I had to go fishing a bunch, and I built an enchanting table, and was just really trying hard to get Silk Touch back so I could mine more of that glowstone. It was not a fun ordeal. I need to fix that. I think I need to put the stairs back 1. Where are we? Here we are. So yeah, I actually built an enchanting table that I didn't have before, enchanted a new pickaxe, made it really cool. It took a while to get the right enchantment. I have a ton more fishing drops now. All these are in a different area. I got a really good rod to help me get the better treasure books. If you remember, that was combined with this chest. There's no way to do that now. There's just a ton more of that stuff. You have a full chest of glowstone now and a little bit extra. I say a little bit, it's a few stacks, but really I'm measuring this build in chests of items rather than stacks for the most part. This is the pick we ended up getting with Silk Touch Efficiency and Unbreaking. I just want to add Mending onto that. Fishing also got us some more much needed name tags. There's 9 now, a whole bunch more saddles we're running out of room for. I might need to make another chest. So if we get any more horses, at least we don't have to go fishing for name tags now, because we have 9. I broke an anvil trying to combine everything. This one's mostly used up. Previously there had been one over here that we broke. I had to make a whole bunch of books and bookshelves for this enchanting table. Used up some resources on that, but not too much. We still have plenty, obviously. Yeah, still a pretty good amount of diamond, plus that one that's in the item frame. Can you guys hear all that noise? I'm sorry about that. I can't record at night anymore, so I have to record during the day when there's all this noise. What was I saying? Yeah, I was just trying to find Silk Touch in that when I got so much experience from fishing, and still hoping I'd fish out a Silk Touch book. I had to use the lowest enchantments to get them in here, and I started combining some of them so that they weren't taking up so much room and I didn't have so many stupid things, but that took up experience points. So I hadn't done a lot of that. Unless it was something I needed to put on that pickaxe other than Silk Touch. But that's part of the reason it took me so long to get this episode out to you, and I'm sorry, and I hope this one's shorter and less annoying, and that it's more concise for you. I really hope you can get some use out of that lighting map thing. I really couldn't find any on the internet that were really useful anywhere. So I just made one because trying to draw all the things out in the grid I had in Paint was just horrible. So hope you guys can use that. I'll have this available for download as well as that light mapper. There's no update to do with the map since lighting doesn't, let's see, yeah, lighting doesn't show up at all on when you're regenerating on a map. So there's really no updates to either of those. Oh, the sun's coming up. Well, that's really going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. There's really no video schedule, so I really recommend subscribing so you don't miss one. Next time, we're going to have all the lighting done, and I'm going to be doing the front of the castle. Yeah, I think I'll put out a video for you guys when I have the lighting put in and give you guys another world download so you can have that with all the lighting in there. If you don't want the lighting, this one's available for download at the bottom of this video. And then we'll start putting the sides on, and it's going to be really cool, and I'm going to make it a little 3D, I think. So it's not just going to be one away and leaving a 5 gap for the wall. Let's see here. Oh, this auto jump just kills me. Yeah, I was planning for a 1 wall, but I think I'm going to move the center of it out 1 so it can get a little more 3D with coming out 1 and coming in 1. Because something being so flat on something this big, it'd be really cool if I could make it a little more 3D, so I'm glad I left all this extra space. And I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. You can be my friends on Facebook and Twitter. I always post when I have a video up, so that's another way so that you don't miss any new ones. Leave me some feedback if you've got better lighting ideas, because that's like the best one I could come up with. Radials were either too large at the ends so nothing would get lit up, or too compressed at the center so you can't really make out the pattern, or would take up too much glowstone. This is the best pattern I have with the amount of glowstone I have. And really I shouldn't complain about collecting resources since I did all this mining, but glowstone's really a pain in the butt to collect. And I have to go really far out in the nether to get any more. So, if you do come up with any really cool patterns that work on a perfect 100 by 100 space, let me know. I'll see if I can use them. Try to keep it under 200 glowstone per floor. This one does, I think it's 160, but that's because the edges aren't all that efficient. If I left the edges dark, it's only 120. It's really that efficient of a light source. Some really cool radial patterns that I wish I could do are like 760 glowstone per floor, and they're just not at all possible. Way too expensive. So, yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, be my friends on Facebook and Twitter, and keep your eye out for the next video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.